Hello, this is Mish from Downtime Distraction with a review of a new title coming to Steam on 23rd of August called Metrico Plus. Now, being open and honest, I received the copy of this game for free as a review copy. So this title, as I said, is coming to Steam on the 23rd of August at a price of $13.99 US. It's also coming out to the PlayStation 4 and in the future to the Xbox One. So Metrico Plus is a side-scrolling platformer with a twist. So it's an input-driven game in a world of infographics. So infographics is bar charts, line diagrams, pie charts, things to represent data that you'd normally see in mathematics. As compelling as that sounds, it actually does get quite interesting. And also, another component with this game as well is that it has input morphing. So by that I mean the world changes when you put an input into the game. So if you jump, if you walk, if you shoot, if you slide, if you walk a certain direction, and the game is going to react to everything that you do. So you need to figure out what inputs are controlling what in the world around you and solve the puzzles accordingly. So the developer and publisher for this title is a little indie team called Digital Dreams Boilerplate. So they are based in the Netherlands as well. So another interesting thing here, this game came out onto the PS Vita previously in 2014. So if you owned it then, you can purchase this title again, but you get a discount of 50%. Interesting as well that this game was very well received when it came out on the PS Vita, but people mentioned that the controls were a bit gimmicky, but obviously that needed to be reworked for these other formats of keyboard and mouse and controller. I used the controller and it worked very nicely for me. So let's just jump in and I'll show you the options menu, and then we'll just summarize with graphics, audio and gameplay. And here we are in the main screen. Something of note here, we have keyboard and mouse working in these screens, so we can navigate with that. But in the game I used my Xbox controller, as I think that was a better option for this game. So options menu, what we have? Not a lot. So we have graphics high, low, medium. We have resolution options, we have ambient occlusions and depth of field and VSync, and I believe that is vibrations on your controller. So we don't have any full screen on or off, and we don't have any audio options. Both of those I think are quite necessary. So I guess in this regard it is quite limited. This is built on the Unity engine, so you might be able to get the full screen option as a kind of pre-pop-up box before you start the game. If you chuck in some details into the Steam run as, you might be able to get that to occur. I didn't try that, but it is an option there. They might be able to, if in a forum it might say how to do that. But at the moment in here it's very limited. But I mean it's functional, but yeah, there's definitely some things missing. Okay, and moving on to, I guess, a summary of graphics, audio and gameplay. And is this title worth picking up as well? So graphically, whilst very minimal visually, it perfectly matches to the game. It's quite extraordinary, that minimal design, but yet it's very distinctive and it impeccably works with the audio as well. So it's very impressive visually in a strange way. So I do like it, and obviously you'll be able to tell immediately by looking at the footage in the background if you like it or not. There's no real negative points with it. I mean, the animations are all pretty good. There's no, texture issues, anything like that, because there are no textures in it really. So I think it's more down to a personal preference on this one. If you look in the background and you like it, then obviously you're gonna like it. If it's not for you, you're gonna immediately know it's not for you. Okay, so let's move on to audio. So the audio really matches the graphics perfectly. It's very high quality, but it also gives you a really eerie sensation, a really ominous undertone of dread throughout the whole game, which is, so once again, it matches the gameplay and the visual style of it. It's a very unique feeling game, I want to say. So graphically and audio, whilst I say minimal, but it's very well done and it's a very cool design, and it puts you on edge in a strange way, but it did for me. So let's move on to gameplay. For me, the puzzles really make you think. Stop and look at the game to figure out how to solve the puzzle. You can't just rush through it. So the game is full of puzzles that are tricky, in difficulty, but some are just really vague, and you really need to think outside the box to figure those ones out. The game has no story to speak of, but it has some very strong suggestions of, I guess, losing oneself to a machine whilst completing tasks. I kind of interpret that as a look of modern life and kind of the struggles of society and what we all go through on a day-to-day basis at work, things like that. That was my interpretation. I'm sure there's many interpretations that can come out of this game. So the combination of the audio, visual and gameplay input morphing really makes for a unique title here. It's an interesting journey, and it doesn't hold your hand as well. So there's no tutorial. Every now and again you get a suggestion of a button which might help you out, but that's really it in regards to tutorials, anything like that. So if you're a fan of side-scrolling puzzle platformers, this could be a good purchase for you. Only real downsides that I found was it's a bit short. I completed this game in 4 hours. But that's obviously going to depend on how you go with the puzzles. It could be a lot longer. And also another thing to note as well, I don't think it has much replayability. Playing through again, I mean there are achievements, but I don't think there'll be a lot of drive to play through again. But that's obviously once again personal preference. I mean you might love it so much you want to play it again, and that's perfectly understandable. So I hope this video has been informative for you. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope I've given you enough information to know to purchase or not. If you enjoyed it as well, please give me a thumbs up or thumbs down, or leave me some comments below on the game or any feedback you want to give me, and subscribe for future content from me as well. And I'll see you next time, and until then, cheerio.